This is Richard back at you. We got Jason's Duffy's 96 Dodge in here. 4-wheel drive, 12 valve. 600 horsepower, farmer. I'm telling you, he's getting his cattle to the market, let me tell you, and he's doing it right. We got his 241 DLD transfer case over here. We got it tore apart. Got some stripped splines and stuff like that. We got a stripped output shaft on the back of the tranny that's almost stripped. So we've got some issues going on. But guys, we're going to put everything in this thing you could imagine. We're going to start out. We got PRW's, this is Transtar's billet flywheel. SFI approved, guys. Nice stuff. We got Mac High-Tech's deep pan. Guys, this pan right here is beautiful. Mac High-Tech, go get you one if you need a Dodge. I mean, they're really nice. Suncoast intermediate shaft. Number one, guys. Transgo. Here we go again. Number one, guys. We put this in a lot of Dodges. I mean, everyone we do, period. It doesn't matter. Sonex, billet input shaft. We're going all the way, guys. So it's going to be a really nice unit when we get it done and get it built and back in for him. So the tranny's got leaks everywhere. It looks like it's been into before. It does have an aftermarket converter. Now we don't know if this is a triple disc, but it does have an aftermarket where they got rid of the lugs, billet backing plate, and stuff like that. So now we are putting a triple disc in here. We have one already here. Fluid's really nasty. I want to show you something, guys. Now we get these converters that are universal. They'll fit the late 48 RE, and then they'll go back to the earlier design that has no ring right here. Now this converter right here will not retrofit to a 48 RE. It has a lip down in here. The hub isn't smooth all the way to the end. It drops off about an inch down in here. So if you put this converter in a 48 RE, the ring on the stator is just going to blow away. It's going to be gone. It ain't going to help you none at all. So you got to be careful on the converters that you put in these units. Now this is an earlier version. It doesn't have no sealing ring here. It has been painted, so that tells me it's been rebuilt. And you know how it is when they've been rebuilt, guys. We always run into stuff that has been put back in them that's not supposed to be in them. So we're going to use this Milwaukee tool. This little gun right here is awesome, guys. I can't do without it. So now we're going to take this overdrive housing off here and look in there and see if anything special been done in here. Now being that this has a TV cable instead of a TV motor, we can physically go in here and do away with a snap ring and add an extra clutch. But you can see here the overdrive clutch is pretty much smoked out of it. But we can come in here and put a special backing plate in here. We can take this wavy snap ring out right here. What you do is you have a flat one that goes in first, and then you have a wavy one. And the plate that we put in here has been machined here on the fingers. That allows us to do away with that. Set this down in there with a different backing plate and add another clutch and steel. So that's an upgrade on this that's going to be done. Now if it was a 48R with a cable motor and it's got a tow haul button, every time we do that it's customer complaints. And when you come to stop you get a really harsh downshift and stuff like that. So we found out that we can't take this snap ring out of here in the later versions with the tow haul button. So that's where we're on that part. So let's get this overdrive piston out here. Really short rings on these. You can see this one here is already cut. You can see the piece of the ring, it's not even there anymore. Now the rubber seal that we put on here is going to be, the end of it will be a little bit longer. That way it can blow out and grab a little bit better when the tranny gets hot and expands. So go ahead and get this overdrive section out of here really quick. Did I leave my pliers somewhere? Looking for my big ones.
Oh, yep, over there on the other side of the big one.
I thought I had them here. There they are. A lot of things happening here today, guys. Take this speed sensor out first. Normally I take them out right off the bat, but I got a little hurry here. Those seals that's on this sensor like to set in the case and cause it tight, but to come out. A lot of metal on here. Oh. Now this is your overdrive direct clutches and your overdrive planetary assembly here. We'll have to get it over in the press and take it apart. We'll show that in another video probably tomorrow. What we wanted to do is we wanted to get mainly in here and look at this case right here, or this overdrive housing, and see if it's wore out, because if it's wore out, we've got to get an overdrive housing coming too. So these things are real bad about wearing in the back of the case right here. And if you look down in here, Trent, you should be able to zoom in on that, and you can see how wore out that snap ring groove is right there. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. Now there's a lot of force on this snap ring and this back bearing right here, because when it's in overdrive, it's trying to push off that 800-pound spring in that applies the direct clutch right here in this drum right here. So the whole time you're going down the highway, this piston is applying the overdrive clutch and pushing off the direct clutch off. So it's pushing that 800-pound spring the whole time going down the highway. So there's a lot of pressure on this back bearing right here, this bearing right here, and this snap ring right here in the case, trying to push them back. So a lot of times you'll grab this bearing and you'll roll it and it'll feel good, but if you grab it and pull it backwards where all the force is back, you'll see the bearing's bad. I mean, this thing, this bearing's just wore plumb out. So we're gonna have to call my parts guy really quick, get another housing coming for that, because that housing is totally gone. Now this is your rear case support that I'm fixing to pull off right here. Get this linkage and stuff off here real quick. Milwaukee fuel, guys. It works, let me tell you. That's your band adjustment anchor right here. You notice how full the connector is, Trent, full of fluid right here? Just plumb full of fluid. Now this will cause all kinds of problems. You could get a tranny you think's burnt plumb up and you have fluid in this connector, and you clean that fluid out and it'll work good for a while if you didn't drive it long enough to burn it up. So this tranny was making noise like crazy. The pump was whining so loud when Trent, when we got it in, that we had to turn it off quick. 'Cause I thought it was just gonna wipe out. Oh.
Surprise! There's your surprise for you.
Did you look in here already?
Yep,
you
I
did?
left it in there for you too.
But Trent, give me a present. Look at the nasty, guys.
There's something else in there. Oh, there it is.
Oh. Oh, it broke the lever too. There's no more lever right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never really looked in there and seen what
Where's
it did.
the rest of it? Was it in the pan?
Yeah, it's in there somewhere.
Not in there. We're missing a piece.
Hold on, it's in there somewhere. Check it.
Oh, here it is. Oh, there it is. This is our band lever right here that broke. Now they make different ones of these right here. If you look here, guys, there'll be a number on here, 3.8, 3.5, and that number matters on what you do, because it matters on how the band applies and how it pressures up on the band. So I'd say it was wore out.
Used it till the end. Beyond the end.
Yeah. Now this tranny is nasty. What's crazy, it don't have a burnt smell. It don't have a smell, guys. I mean, this thing, you'd think that you'd be plugging your nose on it, but you're not. See, the filter's just totally plugged up. Now it does have a shift kit of some sort in it. You can see identifying pieces like this piece here, a new manual valve here, stuff like that. So it does have a shift kit in it. I'll go back through it and look and see what type it is, if it's one of our kinds that we'll use and work really good for him. I want to show you something here, guys. I'm going to go grab something really quick that a lot of people don't even know that exists. It's called a Rooster cone saver. And what it is a lot of times these Dodges, this little ball right here, it's a ball and spring. It gets where you can't pull it out of park, and because this ball starts wobbling. You can see it's starting to do it right there. Well, they make this little Transco makes a kit that gives you a spring and a little torpedo that sets down in here. Now this uses the whole surface area of this bore right here instead of just the ball right here on the end. Now you're gonna watch when I push it in, see how that ball goes in? Watch this. I've had viewers tell me, Richard, take your time. We got all the time in the world. Well, you know what, guys? I do too. When it comes to showing, teaching, and all that type of stuff, you just got to do it. It's worth every bit of the time to take your time. Now you can see here, it just had a ball and a spring in it. Now this little piece here, you get a little spring and a little bullet, and you stick that up in there like that. Now it's using the whole surface. There's no rocking back and forth. The shifter tightens up. It comes out of park. All that type of stuff. So that's a must on doing every one of these Dodges, because every one of them come in the exact same way. So some a little bit more extreme than others, but they all still come in the same way. Now this is a shift kit spring here. This is another piece that identifies a kit of some sort. And we have our band here. Our anchor's missing. We have a reverse band here, the big anchor, or excuse me, not the anchor, but the big lever for it. Now they do make a single band. This is a three-way band, 1, 2, 3. It's called a dual wrap. Big difference there. I'm hoping that this thing's got diesel parts in it where we don't have to replace half the tranny on the inside, because a lot of times when I get them in here that way, they've been robbed. So now it has another sign of a shift kit. It's got some high pressure rings in it. You can see them right here. They're not your standard ring. But you can see here this ring's fixing to blow. I don't know how many miles this tranny's got on it since it's been rebuilt or anything like that. But we always use the same high pressure ring right here. Even though you see this one starting to fail, this thing could have 300,000, I don't know how many miles it's got on it. By looking at it, it's got a ton. So, but that still is the best ring to run when it comes to high performance, high pressure. So, and Transgo sells them only in the kit. I haven't been able to get them separate yet. One of our watchers found a place and sent me the information to where I could buy the rings separately, because if I get a vehicle in here that needs the rings, I have to buy a complete kit to get them. So it kind of makes it expensive. So we're going to look at our pump here. It's got a gas pump in it. You can tell by the way the pump gear looks and stuff. It's not a diesel pump. So we're going to have to start doing some searching and try to get this thing back together. Got the small teeth here that holds the converter to the pump gear. Stator looks good. No wear down in here where the rings run here. Pump body looks really nice. Now you can look here. You can see this bushing here, a lot of the dimples are in there, but if you come over here, they disappear. Now here we go again, guys. Wearing on the bottom of the pump like that, and this is the bottom, so that tells you either we got bad dowel pin alignments here, something not working right. I mean, something isn't totally right. So we're gonna put that same bushing back in there. That is the best bushing Chrysler or they make aftermarket. We're gonna put that in a gas and a diesel, so it doesn't matter. That's the best. My parts guy calling me.
Yeah.
I'll have to call him back really quick.
Yep.
Now we just got a 4-clutch high gear here. It's got a high ring groove in the drum here, so we can get an extra clutch in here no matter how you look at it. If the ring groove is any lower, we'd be in trouble, but it does have a high groove, so we can stack an extra clutch in there. So we will be going back with 5 in that drum there. We're gonna look at our forward drum here. Here's another sign of an aftermarket shift kit, the Teflon ring right here. If you look here though, the ring's starting to blow too.
Man.
So this thing has got tons of mileage with high pressure. So I'm curious, let me look here, I want to see. He does have a shift kit spring in here, and they do have it cranked in, and that's another reason why we got another sealing ring problem, guys. Okay, let me show you something here. See that pressure spring right there? See how they got it cranked in? It should be flush all the way against the back of that plate right there. Anytime you do that with a dual spring, those sealing rings are not gonna work. They're not designed for it. So this thing has got really, really high pressure. They do it when that's what we call overkill. Now if you're truck sled pulling, stuff like that, and you're gonna take your tranny apart and look at it all the time, then yeah, that's how you do it. But being that this guy's gonna work this truck out in the field and work it, you can't crank the pressure up that high, because that's what happens. When you eat a high pressure ring up, you know the pressure's too high. Put a gauge on it, look at it, and see. That's another reason why carryouts are so critical. When we do a carryout and we give it to you, you don't go home and put a gauge on it, but we do. So that's why we know what overkill pressure is and all that type of stuff. If you look at this band here, all the tips are wore plumb off of it. Now this is a stock band. Now we're gonna go back with a 3-speed band, which it has a lot more lining on it. Still gets rid of the fluid through the holes here, but it doesn't just dissipate all the lining on the band. So
Good upgrades.
yeah, that's a must right there, guys. Okay, and we'll get this support out in the back here before we go over the planetary system real quick. Now we have all this stuff sitting over in boxes brand new too, because 90% of the time when these trannies come in bad, these 2 pieces are no good. So now we got our double wrapped reverse band. You can see it's falling apart too. There's almost no lining here on the tips. High mileage, wore plumb out. We have our lower sprag assembly here. Now you want to watch something here, guys. This is it right here, but what you want to look, these things are really bad about the support back here in the case moving around. You can see that moving just a little bit.
Get in there. Okay.
Can you see that wobbling? Now we'll take that race out of there and we'll put it back in with some epoxy. And once we put that back in there with this epoxy I use, guys, you ain't beating it out with a sledgehammer. But believe me, it locks it in there permanently. It will never come back out again. But you do have to take it out to put it in there with epoxy and let it set for a day or so. But if you look here, your cooler line oil comes in here right off your cooler back in the tranny. It's cold lubricating oil. And when it comes back in, this is the first place it hits. You can see here, but if it's got any metal going through the tranny, it's just going to wipe it out. And when it wipes out this support, it wipes out your reverse drum for your band goes around. See all the grooving and the scarring here? The grooving and the scarring on there.
Mm-hmm.
So it just wipes these 2 pieces out right off the bat. So it's just junk. So we get our servos out here. I was kind of hoping that would come out.
I got you right in the face.
Oop.
Oh, they got us all in the face.
Did you get me?
Yeah, got you too. Yep.
I'm wearing gloves though, Trent. It can't get me.
I'm telling.
We'll blow that out with air. Get that out of there. We'll do it in a little bit safer environment. Get our reverse servo piston out here. The single band will be a great big piston. The double band will be the small one like this. So let's get over here and look at this stuff and see what we got, because I always worry about the gear train in these Dodges because it's expensive and gasoline parts will fit in a diesel. Now being that this is a 96, it could probably have either or, aluminum or steel in the back, but I see it's already got aluminum. So we want to come over here and look at all these planets because these things are high dollar. You only want to charge the customer once, so you want to do it right the first time. This collar looks really good. Come in here and look at the sun gear. Now I've already got new sun gears over here in the boxes. I replaced all my sun gears and my overdrive sun gear. I already know what all these trannies need when I take them apart. So we have our new sun gear that goes in here. Now they do make two different ones. The later version has a wider snap ring groove because they made the shell thicker on the 48 REs and stuff. So this groove is wider here. Now the early model, the groove is narrow because the shell's thicker because this goes in the middle, see? So same way with your overdrive sun gear. We always replace it too. Now it'll be down in here. It'll physically be down in this part here. So when we take this apart in another video, we'll show you that there. Now I do have a video out though that does show that. So if you want to go look at that video, it'll give you an idea. So now remember, the early diesels did have aluminum, and you can retro back up to steel and stuff like that, but it is expensive. In the same way, this don't have no thick thrust washer like your steel planet does. The planet itself is the washer, and you can see here. So starting to get quite a bit of wear here. You can see we have a smaller thrust washer here. So needs a little bit of work, but we got a lot of pretty parts to put in this thing. So we're going to get off here pretty quick so we can order our housing and a few other pieces really quick so we can have them for in the morning. Y'all don't forget to subscribe. Push that button as many times as you want. Just bang, 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 so we can get our viewers up and stuff like that. So y'all stay tuned. We got plenty more videos to come. Milwaukee, we thank you guys. Y'all just have a wonderful day. See you next time.